Hello and welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend, a rough guide to the most likely weather patterns through the next 10 days. Not a detailed guide, hour to hour, place to place, because of course we'd be here all day. The weather is so variable and especially variable over the next 10 days. The broad trend is that we can expect slightly milder but wetter and windier weather heading into the weekend. Then later in the weekend into next week it turns colder again. And I suspect that over the next 10 days, we'll all get a mixture of sun, rain, snow, ice, all of that sort of thing, sometimes changing hour to hour. If that sounds quite vague, well, that's just the kind of weather we get in January in this country. You just have to look at the last 24 hours, for example. We've had all of that plus more. And on Wednesday night, we'll get a mixture of conditions across the country. Many places clear and cold, temperatures falling away, a widespread frost, but some rain, sleet, snow showers pushing into northern England, North Midlands, North Wales, northern and western Scotland. And where these fall onto cold surfaces, watch out for some slippery surfaces, icy patches as we start off Thursday. Many places cold to begin the day, but bright. However, a warm front is moving in. That's going to start to change things through Thursday. You can see it really marks the contrast between cloudy and damp weather out to the far west and temperatures in the double figures. Colder but brighter conditions elsewhere. That warm front then more widely spreads the mild Atlantic air across the country through Thursday night and into Friday. It's not just mild, it's cloudy and it's damp. Expect some rain, especially over western hills. Temperatures widely, though, by the end of Friday, back into the double figures. Except that is for the far north of Scotland, where the cold may remain. And that brings the risk of some snow as an area of rain pushes in from the Atlantic on Friday night and bumps into that colder air. Northwest hills of Scotland at risk there. But elsewhere, a breeze increasingly as the isobars tighten across the country. Friday night's a mild one for most, but an increasingly damp one, especially in the north and the west. Some heavy rain there for Scotland, and by the end of the night, Northern Ireland. So we start off Saturday, wet and windy. A band of heavy rain for Scotland and Northern Ireland, pushing into England and Wales, moving west to east. And that's followed by another band of rain into Scotland and Northern Ireland later in the day. But cold air starts to dig south then, and that means that we're going to see brighter skies, but also colder conditions into the north of Scotland. Rain perhaps turning back to sleet and snow, particularly over the hills. And then we're all into that cold wind on Sunday, and it's worth emphasising the wind at this point because on Saturday night and into the start of Sunday, strong winds will sweep across the country, risk of gales for exposed coasts, and those strong winds then just slowly clear away from the North Sea coast at the start of Sunday. So it's going to be a strong wind through the weekend, and it's going to be an increasingly cold wind. But that wind does help to clear the cloud and the rain. A much brighter day to come on Sunday. Sunny spells and a few wintry showers. So a windy weekend in store, mild winds at first, turning colder through Saturday into Sunday. Rain clearing, though, to sunshine. Cold air then in place as we start off next week. But more weather systems try to push in from the west. They come up against this cold air, and that brings the risk again of rain, sleet, hill snow, icy patches, a proper January mix. Northwesterly airflow, though, seems to be the most likely outcome for the middle part of next week, and that brings with it similar weather to the kind of conditions we've seen over the last few days. So sunny spells, yes, but also a mixture of wintry showers, rain for some, snow showers for others, and icy patches where we get that sort of thing occurring at night. The main theme over the next 7 days and beyond is that it will be cold. Now, this is a temperature profile for around the middle part of the UK. And you can see the average temperature line running as red there. By daytime, the average nighttime, the blue line here. And these are the days. So we're looking at, say, next Monday out to next Saturday. And all of these temperature profiles virtually, plus their error bars, remain well below the average lines for day and for night. So that's the important point from that. It's most likely that it will stay cold throughout next week and into the following weekend. How cold? That's the big uncertainty. And how much wintry weather we get is also the big uncertainty, because it all depends on where the wind's coming from. Through much of next week, the winds will be coming from the northwest. Sometimes they'll come from the north, but there is the chance by the end of next week that the winds will start to come from the northeast or the east. Only a chance at the moment. Either way, all of these directions are cold. So what we can say is that cold winds are expected through days 7 to 10. And of course, that will continue to bring us a mixture of rain, sleet and snow. But not all the time. There'll be some brighter conditions, clearer nights, and of course, frost and ice to watch out for. So the weather stays cold, that we can say. How cold? Well, you'll want to stay tuned to the Met Office forecasts over the next week or so. We will keep you updated when we get more detail. Bye-bye.